Hi everybody, this is just a quick video to run through the important parts of Blackboard, just a quick overview. Obviously, the best way to familiarize yourself with it is to click through and explore yourself, but I'm just whipping this up to summarize some of the important things for you and make it a little less overwhelming. So yeah, the best way to access Pearson is through Blackboard. And you should have received some instructions on how to do that from the email that the bookstore sent you. So, and I've pushed out the same instructions in a lot of different ways too. There's an announcement in here in Blackboard down. Yeah, the announcement I posted back on September 8th. You can click this link and it'll take you to the page where the same instructions are posted. So make sure you follow these instructions carefully. And actually, I'll just go ahead and click on it. So here are the instructions, if you haven't already, on how to sign in and create your Pearson MyMathLab account. And then obviously it'll make sure that you do it so that way it's linked with Blackboard as well. So make sure you do that if you haven't already. Anyway, so once you've successfully gone through these instructions and linked your account with Blackboard, then any other time you sign into Blackboard, you can go down to this MyMathLab tab, and it'll bring you to these menu options. If you want to go straight to the page that has all of the homework assignments in it, then you'd click this top one. Now, because I'm using the student view, it's not actually, this is not going to actually take me there, but what you should see is this. So by clicking this first link, it'll take you to this page. It just didn't work for me because I'm using the student view right now, so it thinks I'm not signed in. But anyway, so you can see all the homework assignments, all their due dates are on the left. Like I said in my other video, I would find some sort of calendar system that you can write those all down in and set reminders and stuff. If you want to instead like go to the main page of the course where you can see like, summary of what's coming up or what you've done and all that, then you would click the second link, which again is not going to work for me right now, but it would take you to something that looks kind of like this. Now, oh wait, yeah, so I'll do the student view in here too. So this is what it should look like for you, apparently. So, yeah, so, okay. This is viewing by 2 weeks. Maybe viewing by month is better. And so you can see that when we have something due, it shows up in this calendar as well. And so these are all the things that are due on the 26th. Obviously, there's a lot of them, so I wouldn't encourage you to wait until Sunday to start them. And keep in mind that there's no late work. So once you miss a deadline, then there is no making up of past due assignments. You'll receive a 0 for those, and you'll just have to try to move on to the next topic. Now, that might mean you still need to do those assignments, and just see that, well, maybe not necessarily assignments, but you may need to read the notes and watch the videos for those assignments so you can understand the next topic, that we can do those work as well. But obviously you can prevent that from happening by just doing your homework on time. If there are some extenuating circumstances that prevent you from doing that, obviously I would appreciate knowing about that, so that way we can work with you as best we can. But again, only extenuating circumstances. So anyway, this is our course home. Looks like that was, I switched to a day view. Here's the month view. Excuse me. So you can see all of our due dates are on Sundays. I probably am not going to be doing announcements at all. Yeah, so this is kind of nice, actually. Organizes things pretty well. Yeah, so anything on the left side here you can see, unless it has this little icon with like the person with the slash through it. So anything, basically anything from course home down through communication tools is what you can see. I'm not going to talk about all those, just the important stuff. So obviously course home is nice. And I bet you it'll be nice that as you complete assignments, you see this list get bigger and the other one get smaller. But anyway, so again, going to the assignments tab, you can see that same list in just a slightly different format. So here is the list of assignments. This is the same place, oh, excuse me, that Blackboard takes you if you use that first link. Student gradebook. Basically shows you how you're doing in terms of assignments from Pearson. Now, this is not going to be your official grade for the class, so your official grade for the class will be stored in Blackboard. But this will at least show you how you're doing in terms of Pearson assignments. Now we'll go to the e-text contents. So a lot of resources in here. I'll just kind of briefly show you how you would probably use it for our class. If you just want to open the textbook right now, you can click on that. It's going to take you to like the cover probably, or at least one of the very first inside pages. But what you'll probably want to do is you're going to want to, oh, sorry, just find the specific section of the book that we're working on. So like our first few assignments are going to come from chapter 6. 6.1 is the first section we're going to be in. Now, once you click on this, if you want to actually read through the textbook, you can obviously do that. And so that link is right there. And this will take you to a digital copy of the textbook, an exact copy of the textbook that you otherwise could buy a hard copy of if you really wanted, but it's not necessary since you've got the digital version here. And yeah, so lots of good stuff here. Pretty user-friendly, I would say, to figure out. And as you're going through the textbook, there are actually interactive things in here like videos. Just kind of take a look at this one. Okay, so I think this one's actually the lecture video that you could watch. And I think that's the same video you'd get if you clicked on this link here. But you could also access it by opening up the textbook. And sorry, I didn't pick a good order to go through all these things. But anyway, so your textbook has, the e-text has a lot of good resources if you want to open this up. If you're, good at just reading things and learning from that, then this is obviously a good way to do it. I would encourage you to take notes. And actually, each section that you click on within this e-text menu, there is a link for a guided notebook for this section. So if you're not very good at taking your own notes, you could use this resource. And it basically gives you a PDF where most of the heavy writing is done for you, and you just have to fill in like the key ideas. And it's nice and organized, and you don't have to worry about bad handwriting if you're like me and you have bad handwriting. But so every section of the textbook has this created for you. And then that gives you something that you can follow along in through the lecture video that is at the beginning and is also accessible right here. So lots of good resources for each section through your Pearson account. And you paid extra money for this. By registering for this course, you were charged an additional amount just to guarantee that everybody gets this additional access to the textbook and all these resources. So the e-text is pretty nice. I would encourage you guys to use it. And then every time you see this little camera icon, that means there's a video to go along with that idea. Looks like they have a video for this particular example. And then I think looks like it gives you an option where you can try it yourself. So after you read through or watch the video for that example, then you can try it. And it looks kind of like a homework page, but it looks like it's just looks like this case one of two questions here. So you can go ahead and answer these questions. And if you're not sure how to do it, then you can click help me solve this. It'll just literally solve it for you. And then that's like giving up on the problem. If you don't want to give up on the problem, but you still want to view an example, they'll give you a slightly different problem, but same idea, show you how to do it, and then they'll take you back here where you can finish this problem. So lots of really cool resources that, again, you paid extra money for. So I would hope that they come in handy and that you're able to use them a lot. So that's the e-text. And those are the guided notes again. So yeah, you can do that for every single section of our book. And then obviously if you want some extra practice, you can go there. Summary and review, get all that good stuff. We will have enough mandatory homework assignments where I think you guys will end up getting a lot of practice. But again, if you have time and you want to get more practice, there are plenty of ways you can do that. So that's just kind of a really brief overview of the e-text. Last thing, or no, actually two things I want to talk about here. Study plan. Again, this is not mandatory, not grading this, but like I said, if you have extra time and you feel that you want to get some extra practice, maybe prepare for a test or quiz or either the midterm or the final, this study plan is actually a really good resource too. It's something you want to do as we go though. At least that's the best use of it. Maybe you decide for the final you want to use it, but just for specific topics that you weren't sure about. But so the first thing that it takes you to when you click on study plan is here. I obviously don't expect you guys to go all the way back to the beginning of the book because we're actually starting like halfway through. So to pick those specific section we're on, you just go to all chapters and then it's pretty easy to find the section that we're on. And actually all the subtopics are organized, are just separated within here as well. So again, we encourage you to do this because it'll identify things that you need practice in versus things that you don't. So it's kind of personalized for you. But again, not mandatory, something that is just encouraged for you to do after you've gotten your other homework done. And it'll help solidify some of those skills so that way you're prepared for larger assessments. Video and resource library. So this is another place where you can access lesson videos and stuff without going into the e-text. So maybe you know you're not going to be reading the textbook. That's never been a good way for you to learn, but you do pretty well with the videos. So you can just go straight to here instead, and then you just select the chapter you want. So chapter 6, section 1, and then I would select video, and the section video lectures. Those are the ones that are actually like a lecture and take you through the whole lesson. I would also select video though, because if maybe you want to see, maybe you don't want the whole lecture video, or maybe you do, but afterwards you want to rewatch some like specific examples. Selecting both of those will bring up all of your options all in one spot. So the lecture is probably what you would watch first, and then if you want to rewatch some specific examples, then they're all separated here as well. Now, going through this menu option will not make it very easy to get to the guided notes page. So if you still want to print out the guided notes, you're going to want to go through the e-text menu option instead. And actually, let's check this out. I might be wrong. Oh, never mind. Yep. So there are guided notes right here. And but you'll still just have to go through and find the specific section that you want again. I think if you go through the e-text, once you select the section you want to be in of the book, then the videos, the notes, everything are all right there for that section. So to me, it seems like the easier way to do it, but I know everybody has their own system. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I will take a look at, maybe we can look at one of these homework assignments real quick so you can see the resources you have within each homework. So let's try question 1. And you may have to like disable pop-ups or pop-up blocker and stuff. That's the only way you can really do these. So, all right, so here's our first question in section 6.1. Find the numerical value of the rational expression when x equals 2 and when x equals negative 3. So there are two parts. So we're doing part A right now. So part A is when we plug in 2. And so if I plug in 2, then I get 18 minus 2 is 16. 8 times 2 is 16. So I believe, just doing the math in my head, the answer is 1. Okay, so that one was obviously pretty straightforward. At least to type my answer in, it was pretty straightforward. It's not necessarily an easy problem to do, but hopefully these will feel like review for the most part. If they don't feel like review and you're struggling pretty hard, you may, as you go, you may find out that maybe this class you're just not quite ready for the content. If that's the case, you can talk to an advisor about maybe doing Math 101 instead to make sure you get the prerequisite skills. But anyway, so here's part B. Now they want me to figure out what happens when I plug in negative 3. So let's say for whatever reason, like, oh man, I do not know how to do this one. Now, like I said earlier, you've got some options. The help me solve this, I think, is like pretty much I give up, do it for me, let's move on. View an example is when you haven't given up on this problem yet, but you do want to see them work out a slightly different example to maybe help give you some ideas. And so you do have to be able to read through what they're doing. And so they're showing, and again, these are different numbers than the actual problem. So even though it looks similar, this is 9x minus 14 over 2x, which is different from the problem we have. So same idea, but different numbers. So they're showing me here, okay, they're plugging in 2 wherever there's an x. And they got 4 over 4, which simplifies to 1. Okay, so we get 1 when x equals 2. Got it. Now they're going to do negative 3. So they plug negative 3 in everywhere there's an x. Okay, I get it now. Yay. But this one's a little tougher because we have to simplify it. So I think they're going to show us how to simplify. In other words, when they're both negative, you can basically divide by negative 1 or pull out a negative 1 from the top and the bottom. And it looks like 41 over 6 does not simplify. So anyway, they gave me an example with slightly different numbers. And yeah, so I still have the original problem here to finish if I want to. What else? So if I want some more help before I give up, I can ask them to take me to the section of the textbook that would help me out. And so then, all right, so it takes you right to the section of textbook. I was hoping it would take you right to the example that would help you, but I guess in this case it is pretty much the same page because the problem we're working on is like from the first example of this section. So anyway, it'll at least take you to the correct section of the textbook. What else? Print. I don't really need yeah, if you want to print it, you can. I'm not going to really try to do that in this video here, but skill builder. I think this will just kind of help work on some like prerequisite skills that will then hopefully help you with the homework. So, not necessarily like the view an example option, but kind of like that. So maybe after doing all these, you feel like, I can't do it. Help me solve this is where they're going to actually solve this specific question, and then you won't get credit for it after that. Now they will ask you to like help solve it with them. Oops, no. They will ask you to help, like it'll be interactive, so you still have to like type things in to get to the final answer. But they're going to give you a lot of hints along the way, so that's kind of like the whole idea here. So let's see. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27, negative 29. But then they want us to simplify. Oh, and then they do the simplifying for us. So notice that we still were part of the final answer of our question, but they gave us a lot of hints along the way. And so now they've given us a new question. And we only got half credit for that question. So if you want to get full credit for the question, you have to solve it on your own without using the help me solve this option. And I believe you get 3 chances for each question. So maybe you end up typing your answer in 3 times, and then they finally tell you you're incorrect. They'll reset this question number 1. They can reset it for you 3 times. Once you've gotten 3 different questions and got all 3 of those wrong 3 times, so in other words, once you've gotten 9 attempts wrong, then you're just going to get 0 for that question, and they're going to move on. So, yeah, so that's kind of the basics. Now, you can see here how this, I'll go to the next one. So 9 times 2 is 18, minus 4 is 14. So this one's 1 again. Now, let's see. We'll plug in negative 3. So 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. So we got negative 31 over negative 21. So now my answer is a fraction, which is obviously my keyboard doesn't have a fraction option, but they do give you all these little math symbol tools down here in this toolbar. So if I want to do a fraction, I can do that. Negative 31 over negative 21. Now, hopefully, oh, they marked that one right, huh? I'm surprised they didn't have me simplify it, but okay, so if you want to move to the next question, you can use the arrow. So anyway, I won't go through solving this one, but you have a lot of options here. If you want to type a mixed number, then this is where you'd put like a whole number with a fraction added onto it. You do have to be very careful with your notation and syntax and stuff, though. So absolute value, square root. You can define a root, subscript, an ordered pair. Lots of options here. I don't think we're going to be using all of these, but at least you can be comfortable knowing that you've got a lot of resources. So that's kind of the basics. And then make sure you hit save each time. And yeah, so it gives you a check mark each time you've successfully completed a question. It tells you your points. And yeah, so I'm sure you guys will get used to these pretty quickly. And then again, you can see 3 attempts per question. And then each of those attempts, you're allowed to make 3 mistakes before it just counts it wrong and resets it. So anyway, I think that's it for this rundown of Pearson. So I'm hoping you guys can get familiar with it for yourselves as well. You're going to be spending a lot of time there. And yeah, as you are working through and you encounter any obstacles or questions, let me know. And I'd love to meet with you and work through those with you. So anyway, best of luck to you. And I look forward to working with you guys.